What up, Snapchat? How are we doing? Today has been a pretty busy day. It's been a really rainy day here in Brisbane, which has kind of been nice. It's kind of been really cozy at home. I was just replying to somebody on Snapchat and I was suggesting a little exercise, a little activity, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a Snapchat story on this because I think it would benefit a lot of people. One of the main sort of focuses that Lewis and I get asked about a lot on Snapchat is how do you deal with lack of motivation? How do you deal with stress? Which all sort of funnels down to one sort of subject. How do you deal with challenge? So I have a few little questions that you can start asking yourself when challenges arise, when resentments, when shames, when guilts sort of surface, that will help you. That will help you look at things from a different perspective, that will sort of widen your horizons and hopefully decharge the original challenge. Step 1, get a piece of paper or a pen or a notebook, something that you can go back to when different challenges and charges arise. I want you to make a list of everything that charges you, that you have resentment for, that you have guilt for, that you have shame for. It can be past, present, or future. It could be an event that you did in your childhood that you still have, a sickening feeling about. Something that you did last week that you're like, oh, I really wish I did it differently, or I didn't do it the way I did it. It could even be an individual that even when you think about them or when you see them, you're like, oh, I just really don't like that person, or I have a charge over that person. So write a list of everything that charges you, that you have resentment for, that you have guilt, that you have shames. If you think of something new, come back to it and write it down. Step 2, for every individual thing that you wrote down, I want you to ask this question next to it. How did it benefit me? It's probably a question that you've never asked yourself, never even associated benefits with some of the things that you wrote down, but I want you to ask yourself nonetheless. So how did the original event benefit you? Somehow, in some way, in some particular form, I guarantee there were things that benefited you from that original charge, that original resentment. When you first ask yourself that question, your response will be like, what are you talking about, Robin? Like, of course there weren't benefits. But I'm asking you to dig a little bit deeper, to dip into your self-awareness and into your self-love, and to really get present and ask yourself, where were the benefits? And finally, the last question that I want you to ask yourself, if there was somebody else involved, I want you to ask, where were the benefits for them? How did they benefit? Because just as there were benefits for you, there were benefits for them as well. So ask yourself, how did the other person benefit? As I mentioned at the beginning of this snap, what this exercise is trying to do, it's trying to get you to look at a particular event, but with a wider perspective. Again, you may have never even thought to look and ask where the benefits were for some of the things that you have on this list. But when you can start seeing the benefits and start seeing the magnificent order that was always there and start giving love to the things that you'd originally judged, that's when you can release. That's when you can let go of past resentments, past charges, past shames, and past guilts. Anything that we have not loved yet, anything that we still judge, that we still have emotions attached to, will run us, will control us, and it will consume space and time in our minds. When you let go of things that you had originally perceived to be only one-sided and to be only challenging, that's when you can start moving forward with clarity.